Hi, Linda Williams here, and welcome to my Earth Art, Land Art PowerPoint presentation, singing a tribute to Earth, Sky, and Water. Anthony Gormley's Desert for Walter points the way into our journey. One of only two sculptures dedicated to individuals, Desert for Walter, done in 1983, was an homage to Walter de Maria and his first Earth art work, Mile-Long Drawing. Gormley talks about the relationship of the skin of the body to the skin of the earth. Here we have Mile-Long Drawing from 1968, in which Walter de Maria created 2 mile-long chalk lines in the Mojave Desert. It was created as having a less permanent and less intrusive impact on the landscape than Smithson or Heiser's work. Michael Heiser's double negative from 1969 consists of 2 trenches cut into the eastern edge of Mormon Mesa, Nevada, northwest of Overton, Nevada. The canvas is the earth itself in this work. 1,500 feet long, 50 feet deep, and 30 feet wide, Heiser was to say of it, quote, "There is nothing there, yet it is still sculpture," unquote. Carl Andre's Stonefield sculpture from 1977 is located in Hartford, Connecticut. It consists of 36 boulders in a progressive arrangement in size. This is his only permanent public sculpture and is a subtle meditation on the contrast between geological and human time. Robert Smithson's Spiral Jetty from 1970 is built on the northeastern corner of the Great Salt Lake in Utah. It is made of mud, salt crystals, basalt rock, and water, and is a 1,500-foot long and 15-foot wide counterclockwise coil jutting from the shore of the lake. It changes with the levels of the water in the lake. One of the ideas brought up about this work is the art object's placement or production outside of the museum institution. Richard Serra's Shift from 1970 is a large outdoor sculpture commissioned by an art collector and installed on his family property 50 kilometers north of Toronto. It is 6 large concrete forms, each 60 inch by 8 inch, and varying in length from 90 to 240 inches, which zigzag across the rolling countryside. In Art in America in 1973, Serra said, quote, "What I wanted was a dialectic between one's perception of the place in totality and one's relation to the field as walked." Lucien Denarend created homage to El Lissitzky in 1985 and 86 in Lelystad in the Netherlands. This land art project with red steel element pays honor to the Russian artist. The work was demolished in the early 1990s. Herbert Bayer, a Bauhaus artist, in 1982 created the Mill Creek Canyon earthworks in the suburban Seattle area of Kent, Washington. The concentric earthen mounds and terraces highlight the land, which covers 2.5 acres. Roxy Payne created Bluff in 2002. Bluff premiered in New York City's Central Park during the Whitney Biennial in 2002. It is a 50-foot-tall stainless steel tree. He uses both mechanical means and the innate logic of natural forms to create his dendroid tree-like sculptures. His meticulous research and observation of a variety of tree species help him to understand the language of how a tree grows. And from there he creates fictional tree species that grow to a logic of their own. Wrapped Trees by Christo and Jean-Claude consists of 178 trees in Rhine, Switzerland, being covered with 592,000 square feet of polyester fabric and over 14 miles of rope. The height of the trees varied from 6.5 to 82 feet and were wrapped for 1 month in 1998. The branches of the wrapped trees pressed the translucent fabric outward and created dynamic volumes of light and shadow, moving in the wind with new forms and surfaces shaped by the ropes and fabric. Jan Dibbets is a Dutch artist who in 1969 produced a trace in the wood in the form of an angle of 30 degrees crossing the path. He found a large clearing in the forest where a path crossed a stream. He and a small crew marked out a large V on the ground, each arm of which was approximately 5 feet wide and 100 feet long. The ground within each arm of the V was turned over with shovels everywhere except where the V was intersected by the path. Snow fell several times during the exhibit, changing the appearance. Dibbets considers the long walk to the site as part of the work. South Cove by Mary Miss from 1987 is located on the west side of Battery Park in New York City and creates a pastoral, interactive transition zone between water on the Hudson River and the city's urban landscape. It speaks to the negotiations of the period's rapidly developing urban spaces. Nicolas Garcia Uriburu dyed the Venice Canal in June of 1968 at the Venice Biennale. He used fluorescein, a pigment which turns a bright green when synthesized by microorganisms in the water. A pioneer in land art, he created a montage in pastel colors over photographs of the scenes in 1970, allowing the unlimited photographic reproduction of the work for the sake of raising awareness of worsening water pollution worldwide. We end where we began, with Anthony Gormley. His Blind Light from 2007 uses light and water vapor. He's filled an enormous box at 1.5 atmospheres of atmospheric pressure with a cloud and a very bright light. You disappear in the mist, unable to see your hand held in front of you. He calls it the equivalent space of being at the top of a mountain or at the bottom of the sea. You become the immersed figure in an endless ground, literally the subject of the earth. Thank you very much for watching my presentation.